Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Trust Me, I'm a Deacon. First off, thank you to all of you that have taken the time to not only watch these videos, but also for your encouragement, your comments and suggestions, both online and in person. Today I'm coming to you from one of the confessionals here in Holy Trinity in response to one of those suggestions I recently received. In case you haven't figured it out yet, I will be covering the what, how, and why of the sacrament of reconciliation. What we often call this sacrament is simply confession. But the Catechism tells us that's just one step of the sacrament, which also consists of penance, conversion, and forgiveness, which leads us to the reconciliation with the Lord's grace, healing for our soul, and restoring our relationship to God that was lost by sin. The how is actually really easy. First, we make an honest examination of our conscience using the 10 Commandments. And we use these commandments as a guide to bring whatever sins that we have that fall on that list here to the confessional. God then grants a fully formed person in the church that's past the age of reason the ability to confess his or her sins to a confessor. Then, after authentically expressing contrition, grants that person repentance, and through the confessor is given absolution and forgiveness, which restores the person to, quote, the brightness of the white robe of baptism. So why do we do all this? I mean, if God's everywhere and already knows my sins, why do I need to go to a priest? Why don't I just go to a tree and confess and accomplish the same thing? Well, what we need to understand is that it's through God's love and desire to be with us in a very personal way. The same love that he showed us by coming to us in the flesh. And he shares that love with us today with his representatives here on earth. And then we are called to come out of ourselves and come to him with faith, humility, and trust. So bottom line, going to a priest is very different from doing so in the secret of your own heart. You can trust that feeling after you get from really taking a hard look at yourself and then speaking it out loud. It's not just an emotion. It's the grace of God. You can trust that he's forgiven you in the way that he chose, absolved by the person that God has chosen and sent as his minister of forgiveness. And you can trust that that experience of freedom and peace that only God gives when you return to his grace. And in all that you can trust. You can trust me. I'm a deacon. See you next week, and I hope you take the opportunity to find the peace and healing that is in this most wonderful sacrament. And until next week, may God bless you all.